I'm ready.
All right. The thing we agreed on in chat, right, was that you would sort of like show up as Junkyard Paladin at the same time that Shala, who was
Gala.
it? Shala shows
Yeah.
up, comes back to the temple from the Coral Castle. Oh, by the way, does Shala live at the temple?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So it's a little sort of
Now,
like,
I think that actually it's the Naga who's showing up.
oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yes, if possible. Well, so the thing is, I guess I have an activation roll to make to change. Do I have to make that if I'm so like I assume if you're trying to activate, you roll that every phase that you try to do it. I think this is like at some point between
Yeah,
the
yeah. You, if you're sort of like in non-combat time, then
right.
we can assume that if you wanted to change, or if the Naga wanted to come out, like at some point you can. Basically, you have control over whether you show up as one or the other
Okay.
in between like fight time, right?
Right. Okay. And
Change while something is going on, it gets to be a problem.
yeah, okay, this is cool. And so the Naga is walking on because she has this cool surfaces power with the Escher modifier, so she can airwalk. Um, so I guess she's like walking very high up in the air.
Okay.
And because like the explanation of it is that she's kind of between these two dimensions, right? So she's kind of walking on this very high like wall in this other in like the Naga dimension or something, and then descending this spiral staircase that happens to lead to
Right.
exactly where she wants. So that she's not being seen by people. Like she wants to come back to the temple, but not necessarily be seen. So that's the so it's kind of cool.
Right. And and Shala is like she just turns into like her body doesn't go somewhere else, or she just turns into the
Yeah, she just turns into the Naga, and then in the Naga's head, there's like Shala, like being like
right, like
let me back out.
like the ghost head floating.
Exactly, exactly. Because and the Naga's saying to Shala like, no, you're not going to. There's gonna be none of this betrayal, none of this spying. We're gonna find a third path uh, that doesn't involve these loyalties that you're so quick to jump between.
Okay.
And Shala's pissed. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I like this. Yeah, I'm starting to get the character, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Uh, so anyway, you come down trying to decide if I should give you like some time to chat or just spring something on you. Uh, well, I am curious how these characters interact. So, like, I think that Naga is, coming like to maybe descending into the courtyard of the temple
Yeah.
at the same time that the Junkyard Paladin comes running up, like there's a huge crisis. Um, so what? Any more like any descriptions of your character that you want to like specify before we don't know? Like I sort of know, suit of armor with weird machinery in it. Is there anything more specific that you wanted to add?
Um, I think so.
Just imagine.
Yeah, they've got like a big like cloak, which is really just like a huge quilt,
Yeah.
that they put on to kind of cover, over. They're really like I was looking at that samurai illustration that I shared, and I think like the warrior, looks like very obese. He's like almost
Oh, okay. That's
or
how the goblins fit in the.
exactly. Um,
In,
he's got a little bit of smoke coming out of his helmet and out of his eyes, but not a lot because they haven't like powered up. Um, And as he's walking up, from inside, there are bickering voices. They're saying like, what are you talking? Like, we told you no one's gonna raid the temple. Like, what are you? He's like, no, I see. Greg, Papa's like, no, I saw them. And yeah, so there's just this constant din of like bickering and commentary from inside as well.
Okay, and then so the Naga basically looks like the picture, right, from the monster manual. Is that the idea?
Well, I think in the monster manual it's just the head that's human.
Right.
I
Oh yeah,
like
that's
that.
right. You have like
Yes,
arms. Yeah.
arms. And like yeah, the where the snake stuff starts is like the waist. That's
Right.
where the snake tail
Okay.
comes in. Yes, and yeah, I'm picturing like some kind of cool crown that looks like it's made out of glass. Like kind of like a chandelier looking thing, very intricate. And some cool, I think, and some cool like gems kind of um, built into the skin. I was
Right.
reading a little bit, vague stuff. So supposedly some of these Nagas had gems
Yeah.
kind of in their scale. So yeah, she's got
Okay.
that going on. And she's really big. She's got, growth 3. So
Oh yeah,
she's
growth rate.
really big. Yeah. And she's got I guess, a cool trident or something like
Nice.
that. So
Okay.
And one sec, I want to
Okay.
look at
Yeah.
the growth table just because that's huge.
I don't think. Yeah, that's. This is not subtle. I think like
no,
people
yeah.
are actually seeing like I think people in the streets around are like seeing the Naga. I mean,
Yeah.
like they're just like gathering around, and some of them are like shouting like praises to the Naga, or asking you to like cure their sick grandfather and things like that. So this
Yeah.
is this is like an event, right?
Okay, let's see. I have a variable power pool with 20 points. So let's see if I
Oh yeah.
can have some like technology to cloak me as I descend or something.
Oh, you're thinking of
Um
you want to be more stealth. I think invisibility is. I think your basic invisibility is 20 points on the nose.
okay.
So it
Yeah, minimum 20. You're right.
yeah, if you do want to okay, so if you do want to come secretly, then that's how that.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just saying it.
I think this is like some kind of like um so okay, so this technology. I think this is related to like the movement of a certain cloud or something that there's some kind of like weather control technology that she's kind of. I think this is something she has to do. So this is probably something that she kind of rummages for regularly. Um, I think. Yeah, let's see what my variable power pool says. Yeah, 20 pool. Well, I'm like, do I want her to be invisible though? It's kind of fun if they're no. She should be visible. Yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah. Because this is actually, I'm thinking she has a little bit of a plan related to the Naga Temple. Um,
Right.
and so yeah,
Okay, and so that's what happens. So that's sort of what like Junkyard Paladin sees, or the Gavos see as just the Naga is descending into the temple grounds, and like everyone is gathering around. Uh,
yeah, and I think the Naga says to the Gobos, um, we, just steady yourselves. We need some patience.
Hmm.
Um, this isn't as simple as defending the temple. This temple should be flawless and spotless, and then it wouldn't need to be defended. And so it's time for a change around here, something new. Um, so
Okay.
so I think yeah, so I think yeah, the Naga's like if you'll just be patient, we already have a congregation kind of So I think the Naga is gonna try to like open the doors of the temple and stuff, and like let the people come into this space.
Okay.
So the people, as you open the doors, I mean, the people start pouring into the temple. Any reactions or thought balloons from the paladin, or dialogue between multiple characters that you generate yourself in response to this?
Uh, oh yeah, Papa Gavo's probably thinking like I'm gonna have to sweep everything. After that great job I did today, I'm gonna have to sweep everything again. Uh,
Yeah.
and I was just gonna say, like, as you're descending, I think Lola and Jumbo are excited to see you, but the first thing you see is like, Papa Gabo like shaking a fist and saying like, we used to fear snakes, not worship them, and then the other two like wrest the controls away from him,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and it changes into a hand wave, and they're like, "Oh, good to see you, Shala." And I think Lola in particular is excited about this new whatever you're talking about. She's like, "Oh, that sounds, yeah. Like, what are you thinking?"
Yeah, and I think the Naga is kind of saying to these people who are approaching, um, uh, this is the end of promises and the beginning of healing and real support, and the beginning of you seeing me at last instead of just seeing carvings of me. And I can tell you the exact rituals that will work, and
Wow.
we can
Okay.
kind of,
What?
yeah, we can, and yeah.
Okay, neat. What was Papa Gumbo's impulse, though? What was his first impulse to do? I ask because I'm looking at your situations, and he does have
Yeah.
an irrational situation. So,
Um. Yeah. When he hears about this new thing, he's like, oh, I don't like the sound of that. This sounds scary.
okay. Um, but no action in particular at the moment.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
okay. Um, so go ahead and Sam, roll your unluck.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I have unluck what? I didn't write that on my sheet. I should
Did
have
I?
tried
I
to put
think
everything.
no, it's there. It's
Oh
two
yeah,
dice.
10. Okay, yeah. Let me just note that here. Okay, so I roll them and then I tell you the core, right?
Correct.
So it's 2.
Two. Okay, so two. Turn to. I was gonna do that anyway. Anyway, uh, as let me see how I'm trying to think how I stage this. Okay. So, actually, I do think I think I can do something with that unlock there. So as the people are sort of coming in and they're sort of crowding around you and they're pouring into the temple, right? Um, from like the back of the crowd, like you can tell the chants of praise and like singing and like the jubilant chatter suddenly turns fearful, and people are yelling and screaming, and you sort of turn and look around, and you sort of look down from the temple. You can see down to the harbor, and you can see just a wall of water from horizon to horizon is headed straight from the city. It's
Oh,
it's a tidal wave or tsunami.
All right.
holy shit.
And so at this point, like everyone in the city is starting to like react and make prep, and people are like dragging boats up the street to try to get to high ground,
Oh,
and people are just pouring into the temple. And now people who wouldn't necessarily even be part of the Naga temple are pouring towards the temple just to try to get into what they perceive to be a a safe spot. And I guess this is where the unluck comes in. It's turning into a stampede, and people are getting crushed or you know harmed or hurt as the crowd starts to panic. So
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. What are the gobos doing? Because I have to think about what the Naga's gonna do.
Let's see. Can we see this coming to Rod?
yeah, like by the time you can definitely
Okay, we are going to. Yeah, I think they're like grabbing people and like throwing them higher, just like grabbing people out of the crowd and like throwing them, to higher ground.
okay. Um, we can make
Oh
a
yeah, the Naga's grabbing people, and she can walk up, the air.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
she's taking, and she's big. She's fucking big, and she can grab people with her tail because it's an extra limb. So she's like really can carry a lot of people, and she's kind of But the thing is, it's a stampede-ish thing, right? So we have to kind of calm them.
Yeah, you.
So I think the Naga.
Presence attack.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a presence attack here, right? Where she she's really big, and she's just going to basically she's going to do like a snake coil up in a hiss and like a startling kind of lunge at this crowd of people to try to like just stop them in their tracks. Um, uh, and she's like, like I think she like smacks her tail on the ground. So I think that if that's exhibiting a power, I think it is because it's an
Okay,
extra.
well, I
Limb.
think just the fact that you're there and you're gigantic is exhibiting.
Yeah, right. So let's see what I get for my growth because I know that it
You
gets
you
you.
get 3d6 bonus presents.
Okay, so I have 6 dice for presents to start out with.
Okay, yeah, I would say plus 2d6 maybe on the power plus violent action. Um, maybe it's 3. Call it plus 2d6. You have 6 presents, right?
Yeah.
So that's 86. This is good.
Okay, cool. So hopefully this will work. Unless I,
not have an impact.
yeah, unless I get the best pool roll ever. I did roll 4 ones.
Wow.
Wow.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah. Okay, so I ended up with a core result of only 4.
Ooh.
Okay.
Not
So
that great.
very impressed. We'll consider the content seriously. So I think that's sort of enough to get people to pause, and so they're listening to you, or they're looking
Yeah.
and listening to you. So if you have I guess the question is, do you have like an actual plan for them to comply with?
Yes. So let's see let me look at the Naga temple.
And this is it's like sort of just diagrammatic, right? But there's
Right.
a lot of the exterior of the temple has a lot of nooks and crannies, and there's a roof. There's this sort of elaborate statues and niches with statues everywhere, and so there's
Yeah. Okay.
a lot of places for people to be.
So the Naga's asking Shala to help because the Naga doesn't know about like where to go in a tsunami. Because I feel like this is yeah. So Shala is kind of directing.
So Shala will sort of know that there's on top of the roof of the temple, or in these little sort of decorative towers have viewing decks. People can go up there inside the main hall. I think there's kind of like a mid-level. I didn't really draw this that well, but I was thinking there's kind of like a mid-level balcony
Okay.
around the main hall that maybe where there's some windows and it's accessible to people who would be up there cleaning or whatever. So Shala would know, I guess, from past experience that at the bare minimum, temple is gonna the floor of the temple is gonna flood. Like the ground floor
Right.
is gonna take on water. And so getting people as high as like maybe even the snake room. I think the snake room I considered putting stairs in there and they're erased, but I conceived of the snake room as higher.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Higher than of course.
Okay. So then the Naga's saying, we need to get, we need to get as many as possible off the ground floor. And I will carry as many of you as I can. Um, stay still. And and I think is trying to direct people, but it's mostly just grabbing people. And then she looks around and sees that in her kind of realm that she's half in, there's luckily a staircase that goes right up to where, so she's gonna slither up that staircase with these people. As many people as she can get. She's speed 6, so I don't know if that makes a difference for this, but
Okay. So she's, you can try to help as many people as you can. You're sort of taking this
yeah.
on mostly yourself, but
Yeah.
it's still kind of I think it's still kind of getting out of hand, but people are trying to get anywhere they can
Right.
if they're not near enough to be grabbed by you or.
Yeah, I wonder if, because I'm wondering if, for 20 points, can I get some kind of technology that can help me, like a force wall or something to block the water? Big voice crack. Block the water or something, but this is kind of like an open courtyard,
Right.
so
Yeah, you could. So just to go behind the screens, that's behind the scenes of my own prep. That's not a bad idea.
okay.
Like you can make an intelligence roll, maybe.
Yeah. All right, my intelligence is only an 11, so the Naga is wise beyond imagination, but whatever. Okay, shit, I got a 15.
You got a 15. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that. You can put you can put a force wall somewhere to sort of like you can put it in the door to maybe stop water from getting into or slow down the water from getting into the hall.
Sure.
You basically
Right.
don't have the like great revelation of like the exact perfect place to protect everybody, right? So like
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But yes, you will actually there is some sort of Naga device that will allow you to block off water, control water, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. Let's go with that because I think it's just a little cooler and more heroic. Because the
Yeah.
Naga, actually she wants to grab people and help them, but that's like a little below her maybe. So Shala's kind of yelling at her to grab people, but she's like no, and she like reaches into this space and pulls out some kind of thing to block some. Yeah, I can't really picture it right now, so whatever. Fill it in.
The unutterable, water engineering technologies,
Yes,
that
exactly.
the
The
present cannot
unutterable.
imagine.
Yeah.
Well, the water isn't here yet, but we can move ahead. I just wanted to establish what the crowd is like looking like when
Right.
as you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she ends up then saying, sorry, I'm talking so much. She ends up saying, get up to the top floor. I'm going to block as much water as possible. That's what she actually says.
And I was
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
say, the Gabos are taking your lead, so they're gonna jump, and so well, first off, they're gonna throw off their big quilt, right? And
Yeah.
the fires are burning, so fear not, the paladin is here, and then they're gonna jump and like grab the edge of that balcony, and like clamp on, and then they have like fins and stuff for flight, so those all like pop out, and they're shouting like, come on, climb me, they're kind of becoming a human ladder,
Oh.
and then saying like to those who are up there already, help pull people up, we have to get as many people off the ground as possible.
Cool.
That's good. If you want, you can make a. I should really. I should really ask you to, I think, for all the unusual looks at this point.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's hot in this suit, so we're sweating, so it really smells like goblin.
Oh,
Ah, it triggers.
wow.
Yeah, well,
Shit.
14 minus, so it's got,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got good odds.
Okay, make a presence attack, but I guess I'll give you a net, so it might like -1 for the looks. But you're sort of exhibiting a power.
So maybe like
You
+1.
can add 0.
Okay. One.
Ooh.
Okay, wow. That is a 0. All right. I think some people are taking you up on it, but it's kind of like they're also just kind of swarming and going, like you're just hearing people saying, like, I don't know, what does that smell?
And I'm
Like,
imagining like one person's like smells like and like climbing down, you know, like
yeah,
they're halfway to safety and I'm like, no, I'm out of here. Just like, so the gobos are
Oh
just
my
like, what
god.
the fuck? Like,
this, this is sad.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that I think that summarizes what's sort of happening as you try to help these people. And then so bad at like figuring out the staging of these. But the point is, like as people are doing all this, and you're sort of like trying to help them as best you can. Like the water is getting closer and closer, and when you, as the water becomes, you know, like is literally towering over you enough, you can see like the foam on the waves and things, and you can see that there are Sahagin riding in the tidal wave, shark men who raid the shore
All right.
Oh my god. It's terrifying, actually.
for food and treasure. And at this point, like the panic just gets even worse, and just people are screaming, and like the the wave hits the floor, hits the harbor, and just the tidal surge. You can see just the surge of water. Looking kind of down from the temple, you can see the I mean, it's not like on a hill, right? Like a lot of people have gotten as far up, the hill as they can, going all the way to the rambles. But you know, the tide is like surging in and drowning out these houses at the bottom. And I think we can get to where uh this is just a job for me to describe, but like the tide is surging around like the walls of the temple and pouring in. This is where you can sort of try to like spot force wall certain areas.
Hmm.
You just can't keep the entire temple clear of water, right? Maybe like you try to force wall the main gate, but it's kind of like surging through cracks under the gate and surging around. You maybe like carries some badly repaired pieces of the wall away and is kind of pouring in. So I'm just basically specifying. So the title cert, so it's going to get like thigh deep or waist deep inside the temple, and you
Hmm.
can use force wall to like block off certain areas that you want to be traversable. Uh, but that's part of the hazard. That's part of the way I built the hazard.
Right.
But for now, like it's going to be like that. Um, and Junkyard Paladin, I think, has life support, right?
Yeah, I was gonna. I'm probably that we're probably scrambling to turn on life support and then also our combat awareness because I'm
Oh,
wondering
that's right. You have combat. Oh, that's right. You have
wondering if
combat.
there's some horrible sharks swimming toward us.
Okay, so what is this combat awareness perceives abstraction now? This is just your actual like instinct for a bad time, right?
Yeah,
Like it's not
and also that
technological.
there are like viewing ports all over the armor, so you've got
Ooh,
three. So
cool.
they're looking behind them and above them and
But
below them. Yeah.
yeah, but the fact that you specifically said perceives malice makes me think if this
Yes.
is like this is like the goblins, like everyone's out to like ruin our day and
Yeah.
mess with us. They're just like picking it up.
And it's like if that were true, then like you wouldn't need the sense, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
won't investigate that too hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll first for the life support, and yeah, I think we're arguing about. I think the people not taking our offer of rescue has caused a split. So Papa Gabo is railing about that, and Lola wants to turn on the life support, and Jimbo wants to be on the lookout for incoming danger. So we just have a ton of cross purposes here, and we'll see if we're able to come together or not. Okay, so this is an ego roll. So life support has not turned on yet,
Okay.
Move.
but awareness has.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen then is that what lost my train of thought. So you said life support hasn't turned on,
Right.
but awareness has turned on. Okay. So you're gonna know. I guess let's look at the Naga temple. Let's sort of put you.
Yeah.
Let's sort of put you in spots on this temple, and I guess I could take this map into a jam board, uh, but I just can't be bothered right now. Sorry, but I was sort of thinking of you as being in the forecourt of the
Mm-hmm.
temple. If that's fine.
Yep.
If there's anywhere else you would have moved to, I don't know that there's necessarily much of a reason to be somewhere else, but maybe you can think of something that I don't think of, like when this water starts coming in, there's just not enough. I mean, people are going to be swept into the worship hall with the water and be trying to cling to these pillars or like cling to these retaining walls and things like that. Um, but
Yeah, to avoid being swept away, the Naga has kind of stepped onto like a stepped
well,
up into the air a little bit.
like you're just like in another dimension or partially in another dimension, right? So
Yeah,
you're just like above the water.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, and so let me actually see the stats. Because your life support didn't trigger, you are going to be subject to the effects of this hazard,
Yes.
which is uh, when we actually we should probably get into phases, but
Okay.
let me share with you the result of your awareness
Mm-hmm.
is that there's malice aplenty. Let's say there's I have no idea. I don't really know how to base my decision on how many hazards to put in a scene very well. But let's say there's like sort of 6 Sahuagin like swimming into the forecourt,
Okay.
and so that's about to happen. But Jimbo also looking around, and you can't quite put your finger on it, but there's like you just feel like a ripple in the air, like there's a weird like smell in the air, like something is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen in the worship hall.
Okay. So, and I think maybe if it's so I think Jumbo might be the one counting the threats, and
Yeah,
he's relaying this to the Naga, right? Like six of those shark guys incoming, and then Lola is like, wait, I've got a bad feeling about something's gonna happen in the worship hall, and she's got some squiggly lines. I think she's the one who kind of picks up on the mystical stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if this would work if I didn't make a new jam board and put this map in the jam board.
So I have a quick question. So if I had, how much did it cost to make a power detachable or whatever?
Oh, separate? It's like
Separate. Oh,
it's
not too bad.
it's only on quarter if you just want to like tell it to do one thing and then send it on its way. If you pay one half, then you basically get more fine control over it. Like it's
Right.
acts as if it knows what you want from moment to moment. And like,
Yeah, so I think it would make sense. I don't picture the Naga like having to hold this force wall up. And I think I only need like, I mean, I don't think I need too much of the force wall, right, to cover this entrance. Like you tell me if I could make it like 10 points of fourth wall and then make it detachable or
oh,
separate, sorry.
well, force walls are always you make them and you want it to be able to like
Oh,
you just do that. You just put the force wall where you want it, and it kind of like
oh, cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, then never mind, sorry. Oh, yeah, I see. Separate from the user's body. Okay. Anyways.
so I think you can like slow down if you put the force wall in front of the door to the worship hall. You'll sort of slow down the tidal surge, and also like the Sahuagin will have a harder time actually getting in. Like, what is it?
Yeah, okay.
Out of curiosity, like, what are we looking at here in terms of?
Yeah. I don't know why it's so hard for me to picture. I think it's like it's like some kind of I think it's got to be some kind of like green crystal and it's weird technology. So I think there's like it's like a central green crystal and then a bunch of other crystals floating around it and she kind of like, casts it forth and it kind of like stands there and hums and the water gets like fried like the water gets kind of evaporated by it or something like that. Yeah, this kind of thing.
Okay,
Cool.
and so that's like a 20-point force wall, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
All
and
right.
then she slithers into the
So let's see into the worship hall.
yeah.
And so
So that's 4 endurance.
this is going to be okay. So it's resistant defense, 4 resistant defense.
Yeah,
That's yeah, it's going to be difficult for them to get through. I think there are 6 of them. But it's only 3 of them to get on this week. Okay.
And Rod, I'm really I think I just need to like narrate the failures a lot for the activation. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
what's happened, Lola and Jumbo are doing this awareness thing. They have left Papa Gabo to turn on, the life support systems. And he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Don't worry, I got it." So like we're standing out in the forecourt. We are, you know, maybe even beyond the force fields, just standing there like very confidently with arms crossed. And they're like, "Wait, you turned them on." He's like, "What do you mean? I thought they were already on." And that's when
Okay.
that's when we get hit by this tidal wave without our life support.
Okay. And so that I guess we can call all that phase 2, and then on phase which is where you would have your sort of last sampling, and then on phase 3, I think the tidal surge is going to like sweep you. It's going to like sweep the junkyard paladin into like so the side of the temple is like encrusted with these statues, right? And so it's sort of like just presses you against into this like alcove with these statues that are all piled up on, like they collapse on top of you, and you're all like in this like
Yes.
swampy water or briny water with these statues laying on top of you. Which is and that's a decent roll. And entangle for 4 body, no defense, not
Okay.
too hard to get out of. But there is also you do also, however, take 8 points of drain endurance.
Okay.
ooh,
as like
Okay.
the water is pouring into like the slots of the armor, and you're like trying to bail it out.
Very cool.
I just realized I'm terrified of tsunamis and water and shit. It's
Yeah.
frightening.
On that same thing, this is a severe blast. This is not that bad for the wall, but the Sahwagin are going to try to get through the force wall. 3 of them are going to try to get through the force wall. 3 of other ones are going to try to climb up the temple wall and get in through the windows.
Okay.
Hop in. They have like net, they're like sort of like vaguely sharky looking people with a big fin on top of their head.
Okay. Cool.
They have like nets and tridents, and they're like, gonna try to like capture people and drag them back to eat in the ocean.
God, these.
They also like jewels and like valuables and stuff, just because it's a long story. They sometimes actually trade with people instead of murdering. Always useful to have something valuable.
Okay.
Anyway, let's see if any of these make it through the force wall. Someone would have to, okay, like one of them like chipped a little bit. They're like just throwing their tridents at it. And like the force wall is flickering a little bit as these repeated attacks are coming in on it, but they're not making a ton of progress. So this is enough to hold these guys off
Okay.
for a while, you think.
Right.
That's on phase 3. And let me go to my second page. And is it time to? It's not yet time. Phase 4. We'll check out your text. Okay, so all right, so let's look at phase 4, and then Naga, you will go first.
Okay. So I think my wall's gonna hold these guys off. These
Yeah.
3, but there's another 3 who are coming up. So
Yeah.
obviously I've got to deal with them. So I guess I can like try to slither up to them and like slither up the up the air, and I guess like I have the martial attacks. So I guess I can try to punch them or like hit them with my trident. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll do that.
All right, go ahead and roll. On hazards, it's pretty easy. Just roll anything but an 18, pretty much.
Okay.
And
And I'm
then
rolling my. Okay. I've rolled a 7, so I'm sure that that's good.
you're fine. And then what are you? Is this just you're hitting with your strength, basically?
Yeah, I'm doing martial punch.
Okay, martial
So,
punch. So
so
you'll
that's
it's like 6.
3. So add 3d6 damage, and then let's see. I just have never done this like martial stuff before, so I'm just kind of okay. And then I add my strength, right?
Yeah.
And then what does growth give me some strength too, right? It gives me 3 strength, right?
Oh yeah. So you get like +3 strength from growth. And
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think you do have to. You pay endurance to use the strength from growth, or did you already pay endurance from growth and just get free strength? Is that how that works?
Oh, I do
I
not know.
have not.
I think you have to pay endurance for the growth streak.
Yeah, for actually employing.
Okay. So
Go with that for now. I
yeah,
bring this all up because you can sort of make a decision on how much strength you want to use on these dudes.
yeah. So I think I won't use the strength from growth. I think I'm trying to move fast and get rid of these guys. So because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice already,
Okay.
so I feel like that's pretty good. And
Yeah.
so I'm sorry, I just have to ask how much endurance do I pay for this? I'm using 5d6 strength plus
So
3. So just 5, right?
It's an endurance. Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Okay, so 5. Okay. And then do I pay for the movement? Do I pay?
Yeah. Uh,
So how much do I pay for
probably
that?
probably 2.
2. Okay. I'm gonna roll my dice now.
Okay.
Okay, so I have. Okay, so the core first of all is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 core, and then the knockout is 7, 8 plus 20,
Okay. Yeah. No,
28.
that's fine. It's mainly just the core, but you send this guy flying out the window and
Okay.
lands in the water and gets swirled away. So
Yeah.
you've got one down. But after you go and before Junkyard Paladin goes, there's a there's like a flash of light behind you in the worship hall, like this just
Oh,
pulsing golden light. And I think the Naga would immediately recognize this as something teleporting in from another dimension.
Okay. Yeah.
And you look behind and see there's this like big golden egg floating
Okay.
in the temple with
Yeah.
like traceries and like decorative. It's like one of those like I don't know Fabergé egg
yeah.
things, except it's a gigantic like
Yes.
dimensional traveling vehicle, and like the hatch pops open and you hear. Okay, I have to like want to dig deep and characterize this guy's like you hear a I'm not gonna do an actual parrot voice, but hear a voice like the voice shouts like target acquired, engage, engage, engage. And then the uh, bird people
Oh,
Yeah.
pop out. Okay, so like they sort of like they do have the ability to like teleport in different. Okay, so they're gonna like be stationed in different places around the room. I really have to. This is another thing where I made a separate power, and I really have to like get my ducks in a row on how this power actually works. So bad about this stuff, like, but what you would see is that like the main bird guy, I think, like hops down on the guy who's giving the order, hops down on top of the Naga statue, seeing
Yeah.
all, and he's like a red macaw guy, but like he's got like a cyberpunk eye patch or something
Sick.
like
hell yeah.
that.
Fuck yes.
And he's holding like he's dressed in these like sort of like it's basically sort of like black, slightly armory, military looking fatigues, and he's holding like a pistol, like a sci-fi looking pistol.
Yeah.
And then um, you see, but there's a couple of other teleport flashes, and I think you see one of these guys is going to be hard to see. A white. They're all dressed the same, but one of them's a white cockatoo, and one of them is a blue budgie. Uh, Appearing on the balconies, like there's like so they're like stationed on high ground. The cockatoo has a gigantic bazooka, and the budgie has sort of like a sniper rifle. And I think I have to make some rolls, but we're good. Good on that. I have to roll that for these guys. This is the they have. All right. So this guy is going to be. This is going to be his body.
guys are scary. Bastards. Yeah, and I think these are the only people that the Naga talks to like they're just other people. So she's like, "You fucking bastards! Like, who told you to show up now?
Right.
Go shit on someone's head."
Oh yeah,
So-
are these your hunted? These
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, they are. And yeah, these are the only people that she's not like all like, like a god, type voice to.
So what's your combat value? Your dex, basically. I think it's 13.
Mine's 13.
Yeah, that is good.
But I just did the martial punch, so I get +1 defensive. Is that true? I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, someone. Well, not versus the bazooka, but
Okay.
if someone like hits you, it's trying to melee you after you've martial punched, then you're like in a better defensive position.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, so the cockatoo is going to shoot this bazooka at you.
Oh Jesus!
You're at like a, and you acted this turn. So per our previous discussion, don't hit. So you are going to get hit by that.
Oh shit!
Your defense.
My defense is only a 12, but I can't. Can I drop an action to dodge?
No, because you acted prior to them on phase 4.
Okay, right. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Per our previous discussion, of
Right.
how this gets tricky.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. You were okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Can I actually copy that? I actually need to populate the phase chart with these guys, but for now, let's just see the damage. It's going to be 5d6, but it's severe, so it ignores your.
Ooh,
Um,
this is gonna hurt.
it's going to be 18 knockout. The body isn't going to affect you, and it's going to be. It's like an AOE explosion, so it.
Yeah.
I guess if you hadn't already punched that, that's why, and it would have gotten him too. But you're knocked back 3 hexes, so sort of like knocked through the window you just punched this walking through.
Yeah.
And that happens, the cockatoo yells, "That's right, get fucked."
So my body is 12, so that means I have 24 knockout, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And then it ignores my defense, that 18.
So
Jesus. So I'm stunned, and I only have 6 knockout left.
And so I think that means that Gabos, when you will actually see the Naga go flying out of this window above you while you're lying up the statues, and sort of splash in the water in the forecourt area.
Mm-hmm.
I think at growth 3, I think you're so big that like you don't really worry about the water too much, but
So I have like knockback resistance, right, from my growth?
growth, knockback resistance.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I rolled a 3.
So I think that would cancel it.
So, wait, are you just not knocked back?
Yeah.
I might not be knocked back, yeah.
I think you're right. Okay.
Wow, so
In that case, I think the Gabos would just see like the explosion, like through, like the blast and smoke coming out of the window, and just hear this huge explosion.
And the Naga's kind of curled up, and all these like jewels are very, like I don't know. It's like kind of like a protective. Maybe that's why she didn't get thrown. Yeah. Oof, that hurts.
Sola knew something like that was going to happen. Like she felt it coming.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's Paladin's phase 4.
Is that big egg still floating in the middle of their vehicle?
It is. It's in the main hall. You are still entangled though.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I think the first thing we need to do is just tear this. And what's the entangle is just the water, right?
Yeah,
Just being
it's
waterlogged. Okay, cool.
you're just being waterlogged, and sort of like the statues are a special effect, I guess. But it's basically just four body.
Yeah.
And four,
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's see.
four.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and spend 4 strength. Uh, and I'm just like, standing up and moving around and water sloshing out. Let's see if I can break this all in one go. So I do 3 damage to it.
Oh, really? Just three?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, I think you're still not having any luck playing out of the water. Well, I tell you what, if you were to activate the life support successfully, you would just not have to worry about this.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I only have to roll for it for the first use. It's a tricky, not activation. So I could just
Oh,
switch
really?
it
Oh,
on
okay.
now.
You can now you can just okay. So
Oh, cool.
that changes everything actually because if you can activate life support for free, and is it a free action to turn on? I think.
Yes.
Okay, so you can actually just turn that on and then be fine,
Oh, okay.
and then you can do something productive
Right.
this turn.
Okay,
Uh,
so inside like uh Jumbo like, dives across the other two and like flips the switch, right? And the furnace like flares, so like smoke is just shooting out of this pile of statues and water is spraying out. Um and then yeah, I think we're uh yeah, we're gonna try to use our black powder thrusters and go up and punch that egg. Uh,
okay,
Now I do have to activate this, and Rod, so with tricky for like targets and movement, if I fail, then you get to decide where I
right,
go or who I hit. So
right.
okay, so my thrusters work correctly. Um, and this how many hexes away is this? Like,
Um, so it'd be like, let's look at the map again. It'd be like you would be sort of near the forecourt, and it would
mhm.
be like kinda in the middle, like maybe one, two, three, four, five, six X's away.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead because I'm constrained to 10 hexes, so I think this is gonna be a move through attack.
Okay,
Yeah. So I just
yeah,
point myself at it like a rocket. Um, and then I'm gonna roll for the punch. Okay, that's also a success. So nothing tricky there. Okay, and then this thing is stationary, so I'm assuming it has a value of just 18.
uh, yeah. Just hitting it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. And then for a move through, I'm a -4 offense. So I just need to roll under a 14, which I do. And so I'm going to spend. Sorry, I'm talking through it. I'll talk less when I know the. Okay.
It's helpful for me.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to do 5d6 high impact and then
Okay.
also an extra an extra 4d6 for the move through. So 9d6 total. Um, and I'll roll the high impact separately so we know how much knockback I'm doing. Okay, so I am delivering one, two, three. I'm delivering 6 hexes of knockback.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, body damage and 7.
Okay, you said.
25 and 29 knockout.
Let me go back to the book here. You said 9 body.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 9 body.
Okay, ooh, that's pretty impressive. So you like sort of, I guess you crack the egg and send it flying against the side of the wall.
Fuck yeah.
And sort of like the Red Macaw guy, as you know, just yells, "The egg! Oh shit! Finish this up. We've got to retreat."
And
And then,
the gobos are, shouting like, "Yeah, you better retreat."
all right. And then phase 5 is empty. Phase 6, the Naga goes.
Yeah, I'm stunned.
You're stunned, so you unstun, and Sergeant Roki and his squad go after the Naga.
Oh,
And
this is terrible. These bastards.
I think the budgie is gonna say, "No, I can do this. Let me just take one shot." And his laser sniper rifle is gonna fire off at the Naga. Now you can dodge.
I will definitely dodge.
Okay. And so
Yes.
you got +3. So your dex is 13. You've got +3.
Oh, I also have force field. I forgot about this. Jesus.
Oh, you have force field. Oh,
Because I
shit.
have that cool weird thing. So which is better for me? Because I want to not die here. So
Okay, let's go. I haven't played with force field, certainly not in a long time.
force field. Okay, so I have force. I have 3 levels of force field. And you can. How does it work actually?
You spend the endurance every time you actually use the force field. It gives you so this will be 6 points of resistant defense.
Right.
So let's see, your body is 12. Do you
My
get
body's 12.
extra body when you turn big?
I get 3 extra body, but not for the derived characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not for the derived. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I think even if you had used it last time, you still would have been stunned. Unless you last
I
game.
still would have been stunned. Yes.
But if you use it this time, you can both dodge and activate the force field.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. So this actually looks like suddenly the other dimension is a little more real, and the Naga is like slipping behind a structure in it.
Okay,
Is what
got
the force field looks like. Yeah, and she's like breathing hard and like and she doesn't have a cool quip for these guys because she's taken such a it hurts. So okay, so that costs 3 endurance. Oh man, actually my endurance isn't too bad. It's 21 right now. It's not
That's
too
a pretty
bad.
good roll. Then. Okay, so you're at 16. Yeah, 12 minus 4. That still hits. So it's a good thing you force fielded up.
Yeah.
Because that resistant defense is going to make a difference.
Oh man.
And like everything, oh my God, this roll. Well, rough day for the Naga, I think.
Okay.
It's 23,
Oh,
and it only cares about resistant defense.
Oof.
17 gets through.
Okay, so I'm knocked out.
again, shit.
Yeah. And
Oh my god.
it's also 7 bodies. So it is actually 1 body getting through your force field. So
Okay. Okay. So
you,
so
so
when
you,
I
yeah, so you sort of go down, I
yeah.
think, and sort of splash down in the water. And I think you hear, like, your last thing you hear is this Budgie saying, "Nailed it! Target down, Sergeant." And then
Okay.
like on the same level, like the egg is gonna like just flicker and appear next to back where like hovering over where the sergeant is, and he's gonna just hop in the door and yell, withdraw, withdraw, withdraw. Mission success. And does he have to? I know he can. Oh, he can cancel these guys at any time because technically they're like separate powers. Yeah, so they just like fucking. The other two just like teleport back into the pod.
Okay.
So they don't have to.
These
Okay.
bastards.
And this is still phase 6, right?
Yeah, this is still phase 6, and so Junkyard Paladin, you have one more. You have
Okay.
one.
Has when you're knocked out, Sam, do you revert to human form?
That's a good question. Is there a rule about that?
Uh,
I guess there
not.
isn't.
You have to sort of figure it. We have to sort of figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's I think that probably Shala would not want to be coming, I think Shala could just choose to like take the reins, but probably doesn't want to.
Right.
And this is probably the first time that the Naga has actually landed in the water, by the way.
Right.
Because the whole rest of the time she was walking just above it.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think it's still the Naga
Okay.
who's out.
Okay. And so the paladin has the next action. The hazards are going to go again on this. So the Safwagin are going to try to get the remaining two are going to try to hop in and grab some people, and there's also 3 still trying to get in through the main door.
Yes. Sorry, I'm
Maybe it would be cool. Is it cooler if it's
Like the egg is hovering over, like the Sergeant Roki is trying to get back into the egg. It like
okay?
basically had done his thing this turn, so I think he's still like there and potentially vulnerable. It's like there's a lot of stuff you can think about doing, right? So
Okay, yeah, so the paladin for a moment is kind of stuck and look like, wants to rocket up and hit the egg again.
yeah.
Wants to sees the sharks, approaching or senses them, right, with the awareness. But my friend is down, so he the paladin is gonna run up to the Naga. I believe um well, I have 4 strength, and you probably weigh as much as like a telephone pole, right?
Yeah, it says I'm at 6 times mass, my normal mass.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
like 600-ish pounds, depending on
yeah,
depending on how much you weigh.
Okay.
yeah.
So I
So
might
like probably 1,000 pounds, let's say.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to push a little bit for some extra strength, but we're going to just like sling you over, our shoulder and run for the stairs to get you out of the water, and hopefully
Cool.
away from the sharks. And let's just see. I think I'm just gonna need. Yeah, I think I just need one extra d6 of strength. It's gonna cost me 6 endurance for that 1 strength, but that's okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so yeah, we picked the Naga up and are dragging you up those stairs. Your
Okay.
your tail is probably like, just dragging along the ground behind us, scraping on the stone. And yeah, we're running up to that second floor and just kind of, like rolling you off, like boom, and like come on, like, Shala, wake up, shaking you.
Okay.
We'll make some rolls here. Still not. Yeah, still not getting it. Let's get a little bit. So I think what happens while you're doing this, I think we're as you carry the Naga away, like egg, the egg flashes out again, and sort of when you get her to a safe place and come back, I don't know how much. I'm trying to think about what your character's actual. Let me look at your character sheet again. Like we can take a break from the phase chart. I'm just trying to think. Like these Sahwagin are gonna will while you were doing that, they will have like thrown their nets over some people and like dragged them out, like thrown them out the windows, and they're like sort of carrying people off on the street. But that's happening like all over.
Yeah, we can't.
You can't like
Yeah, big deal.
So yeah, whatever. Just in the immediate situation. I mean, you could run down a couple of these guys and try to save a few people. And I'm just trying to think if I don't think we're really in combat anymore, but that just might be a roll based on the fact that everything you have is tricky. Like you would need to make a successful flight roll to just chase them down, and then I guess you would also have to. Or wait, no, you've already flown during this, but this is kind of like
I'm is so I the only reason that this would jump out at the Gabos instead of just being background is if one of the people being carried away is one of the people who didn't, take my offer of safety.
oh,
I think that's the only reason they'd notice, really.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you tell me. Like if it's one of
Well,
those
yeah, I
guys.
like that. I like that. I like that angle. Yeah, I think that is one of those guys. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the ego role here is Lola wanting to do the right thing and rescue this guy, and
Right.
Papa Gabo saying like fuck him. So
Right.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
and it's a 12, so Papa Gabo wins the day.
Okay.
She's like, Lola's like, quick fire, we can catch him, like fire the thrusters. She's like, I said fire the thrusters. It's like, no, that's one of the guys who said we smelled bad. I'm not helping him. It's like, oh, they're getting away. Oh, he's gone. We could have saved him, and he's like, yeah, he could have saved himself 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's neat. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay. And I think we can kind of call it there and then deal with the aftermath of this next time we play.